Hey fellow gardeners, welcome back to Soilsage Chronicles. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's been buried under layers of industrial agriculture spin, the 22 vegetables that are naturally 10 times stronger than the GMOs filling grocery store shelves. If you're passionate about growing your own food or just curious about the power of heritage plants, this one's for you. Let me start by saying this isn't about conspiracy theories, it's about knowledge, history, and your garden's potential. These vegetables aren't just old-fashioned, they're resilient, nutrient-dense, and downright powerhouse plants that commercial farming often ignores because they don't fit the mass-market mold. But lucky for us, these treasures are still alive, and they thrive in home gardens and small-scale farms. Before we dig into the vegetables themselves, let's get some context. Over the last century, industrial agriculture has focused on uniformity, shelf life, and yield. These priorities often come at the expense of flavor, nutrition, and resilience. Heritage varieties, landraces, and heirloom vegetables were systematically replaced with hybrids and GMOs designed to survive long transport and produce predictable results. That's why your grocery store peppers might all look the same, but they taste bland and barely pack the nutritional punch of their wild cousins. These 22 vegetables we're going to explore, they were the original champions of natural strength, disease resistance, and flavor, and they're making a comeback in gardens like ours. Forget the supermarket tomato that's been engineered for size over taste. Heirloom varieties like Brandywine, Green Zebra, and Black Krim are loaded with antioxidants and have natural resistance to blight. I've grown Cherokee Purple in my garden for years, and even during rainy seasons that would rot typical hybrids, these plants keep producing robust, flavorful fruit. The trick is giving them rich organic soil and plenty of sunlight. No chemical boosters required. These varieties come prepared to thrive. Commercial carrots are bred for uniformity and long shelf life, but varieties like Danvers 126 or Atomic Red are packed with beta-carotene and flavor. I love planting them in loose, deep soil, and honestly, watching them develop their signature sweet crunch is just so satisfying. Unlike supermarket carrots, which can taste a bit watery, these old-school carrots have personality, and, your body will thank you for it. Spinach often struggles in heat or cold, but hey, varieties like Bloomsdale and Giant Winter can withstand some pretty tough extremes. In my experience, growing them alongside nitrogen-rich cover crops really helps them thrive and develop richer leaves. These plants aren't just hardy, they're nutrient-dense, full of iron, calcium, and antioxidants. Pretty amazing, right? Forget the hybrid bell peppers that get bred for looks. Heirlooms like Jimmy Nardello or Shishido peppers have flavor depth and resilience that commercial strains just can't touch. One of my favorite tricks is staggering planting times. This extends harvest and keeps your garden buzzing with productivity. These peppers are tenacious, and they reward patience with unforgettable taste. You may not realize it, but the modern potato is surprisingly fragile. Heirloom varieties like Yukon Gold, Red Pontiac, or Blue Congo carry natural disease resistance, especially against blight and rot. I personally rotate my potato beds each year and add compost to the soil to maintain structure and microbial life. The results? Bigger harvests and fewer chemical interventions. Common supermarket beans often rely on fertilizers to grow, but heirloom beans like Scarlet Runner and Kentucky Wonder fix their own nitrogen. Planting these in your garden reduces the need for extra soil amendments and supports neighboring plants. Kale is already a nutrition superstar, but varieties like Lacinato or Red Russian really surpass hybrids in flavor and cold tolerance. Watching these vines climb trellises while enriching the soil is one of gardening's unsung joys. I've left kale in my garden over winter, and it keeps producing tender leaves when everything else is dormant. These varieties thrive in real-world conditions without extra chemicals, exactly the kind of resilience that mass-market greens lack. Savoy and January king cabbages are examples of robust, frost-tolerant varieties. Unlike industrial cabbage, which is grown for bulk rather than flavor, these heritage varieties develop complexity in both taste and texture. With proper spacing, compost-enriched soil, and a bit of patience, you'll end up with cabbage heads that are firm, sweet, and packed with nutrients. Most supermarket garlic is grown for size and shelf life, which means it loses a lot of flavor and those beneficial compounds along the way, but heirloom garlic like Music or German Extra Hearty really packs a punch. Heritage onions, such as Wethersfield Red or Ailsa Craig, thrive in all sorts of climates and stand up to many common diseases. Their robust flavor truly outshines supermarket varieties, and honestly, if you plant them in well-drained soil, they pretty much take care of themselves. Other hidden treasures include beets, leeks, turnips, radishes, parsnips, cucumbers, eggplants, squash pumpkins, celery, okra, and lettuce varieties like Buttercrunch and Romaine de Bordeaux. Each of these vegetables has heirloom or heritage strains that, honestly, surpass commercial hybrids in flavor, resilience, and nutrition. For example, Detroit Dark Red beets store longer and resist bolting, while Black Beauty eggplants thrive without chemical pesticides. Squash varieties like Blue Hubbard are naturally disease-resistant, and lettuces like Buttercrunch withstand heat far better than supermarket mixes. By planting these, you're not just growing food, you're restoring biodiversity to your garden. Here's the secret: these vegetables are still accessible if you know where to look. Seed savers, local heirloom nurseries, and online heritage seed banks are goldmines for these forgotten champions. So, the best way to begin is to start small. Just pick 3 to 5 varieties that really suit your climate and soil. Focus on enriching your soil with compost and organic matter, give your plants plenty of space, and then, honestly, just let nature do what it does best. These vegetables are tough, but, they really flourish when they get a little TLC from gardeners who care. One tip I always follow is companion planting. Pairing disease-resistant vegetables with nitrogen-fixing beans or aromatic herbs like basil and rosemary not only helps deter pests, but also improves flavor and resilience. Over time, your garden kind of becomes an ecosystem that grows stronger each season, something GMOs just can't replicate. We're not just talking about flavor, nutrition, and resilience here. By growing these forgotten vegetables, you're actually preserving plant genetics that might otherwise vanish forever. You're planting seeds of food sovereignty, health, and honestly, real sustainability. Plus, it's fun. There's just something magical about harvesting a tomato or carrot variety that your grandparents might have grown, feeling that connection between past and present. Each plant tells a story, and honestly, every bite is a reminder that natural strength beats industrial engineering any day. So there you have it, fellow gardeners, 22 vegetables that big agriculture tried to bury but we can bring back into our gardens. They're stronger, more flavorful, and richer in nutrients than most GMOs out there. Start small, experiment, and learn from each season. Your soil, your taste buds, and your health will thank you. And remember, gardening is about curiosity, persistence, and joy. These vegetables are just the beginning of what your backyard can produce. If you found this guide useful, make sure to subscribe to Soilsage Chronicles for more deep dives into forgotten crops, soil secrets, and gardening tips that actually work. Share this article with your fellow gardeners. Let's bring these powerhouse vegetables back to the forefront, one garden at a time.